1. Trust me, I work here. So this was a while ago. Black Friday last year. It started with Thanksgiving. Whole family comes over and we all are drinkers. They are all pumped up about going to Walmart after dinner because they opened that evening, rather than like 4 AM like most stores around us. I went Black Friday shopping once like 5 years ago and I was miserable the whole time. I hate shopping. I'm one of those people that buy everything possible online. This year one had quite a bit of wine, and my older brother and his wife talked me into going to Walmart with them. So I go into Walmart with my older brother and his wife. At first it's not so bad. I have my coffee cup filled with wine so I'm good. My brother goes to wait in one line for some TV that was on sale. His wife goes in some other line. Don't remember what for. As for me, I'm just wandering around seeing if there's anything I want. I was actually enjoying myself for a bit. Just watching all the madness. After over an hour I'm sick of it. I want to go home. It's way too crowded and I'm out of wine. At this point I was completely regretting going. I would be much happier just chilling at home. I go to look for my brother and sister-in-law to see what the holdup is. I go to the electronics section in the back of the store and my brother is up, checking out. He is trying to use his Walmart credit card and the cashier guy is struggling to figure out how. Cashier needed to look it up on the computer using his phone number because my brother left his card at home or something. I guess they have done this quite often for my brother in the past. Anyways, I walk up after taking in the whole situation and my brother tells me the cashier has been trying for 20 minutes and can't figure it out. Cashier is flustered. Brother is pissed. I ask the cashier the problem and he says he forgot how to search. That seemed kind of weird. He straight up told me that, and I realize the cashier thinks I work here. Being a bit buzzed I jump on that. I'm wearing jeans and a white volleyball t-shirt. Managers that day were wearing white polos and khakis. I walk behind the counter and take a glance at the screen trying to figure out my options and how to search this for my brother. My sister-in-law walks away because she can't keep a straight face. I start looking through all the options. The cashier is a bit confused why I'm not just going right to it and I just tell him it's set up different at the store I work at. I have never worked at a Walmart or and retail store. After about 2 minutes of going through all the options I find out how to search it. Me. Sir, I'm sorry for the wait, can you please give me your phone number and we will get this settled? Brother.
Sure, thank you for your help.
I let the cashier finish the purchase because I didn't really want to mess with the money. When I was on the computer I saw all the discounts or how to adjust the price, but honestly, all I wanted was to go home. Right after he finished his transaction, he grabs his bags and receipts and an actual manager walks up and says to the cashier,
"You called for help."
The cashier looked at me and I kinda gave him the sorry not sorry look because at that point the cashier dude realized that I did not work there. I didn't want to get in trouble and neither did the cashier guy for letting me run his register, so we both didn't say a thing. Cashier just said he figured it out. We met my sister-in-law at the car and went home. Now on I know, if I ever go Black Friday shopping at Walmart, I will wear a white polo and khakis. 2. I do work here, but not for that team. This is one of the less impressive interactions on this subreddit, though it gave me a giggle this morning. I work in a section of a large open-plan office. Rather than being a simple oblong-shaped room, we have an additional space built extending from one of the corners, and this is our little section, shared between 2 teams. The first team that takes the bulk of the desk space is the external communications team for our organization. The second team, consisting of 3 data scientists, is the team I work in. The 2 teams have little to nothing in common and are only occupying the same office space because the arbitrary office configuration made it thus. I'm in the unfortunate position, literally, of having my desk closest to the entrance to our part of the office. I'm also unlucky that the two desks next to mine that belong to my colleagues can be unoccupied for several days each week as they both job share between two organizations. This isn't unusual in our line of work, but I work for only the one organization and I'm typically at my desk every day. Most people know that there's two teams here, and for those that don't, it's usually pretty easy to work it out. I have one monitor dedicated to color-coded mathematical computer code and one monitor dedicated to the charts and tables I create with it. My back faces the entrance to the office, hence my large monitors are fully visible to those people behind me, including anyone coming to talk to me or the other team. If you're coming to visit the communications team, then the stuff I'm working on should be a clue that I'm not your man. Occasionally that fact doesn't seem to register with some people who want me to be the administrative assistant at the other team. Whilst deep in debugging mode this morning with big headphones on playing white noise, two people approached my desk. I wasn't expecting visitors, so I assumed they were waiting to talk to one of the members of the other team who may have been on the phone at the time. A quick glance to the side tells me that they're staring at me and will have questions. I stop my debugging investigations and remove my headphones. Visitor?
Is Dave
Communications team manager.
in?
Me. Dave isn't at his desk and I've not seen him today. I was going to be helpful and say perhaps you could ask one of his team members. But the visitor moves away before I could, and he looks around at the sitting members of the communications team who are all on the phone. I take my chance to dive back into my mundane coding for the morning and replace my headphones. The visitor continues to look around before returning his gaze in my direction and tries to ask me another question. But he stops himself mid-sentence when he realizes I've replaced my headphones. Headphones come off again. Me, yes? Visitor, annoyed.
You're not part of the communications team, are you?
Me, with Cheshire Cat-esque smug grin appearing all over my face, no. Visibly annoyed with the situation, the visitor moves closer to the other members of the communications team and waits for them to finish their telephone calls before dealing with his request. I'm delighted. My purposely blunt demeanor may have annoyed him, but it was his fault for making assumptions in the first place. 3. I'm just a bowler. In my younger days I used to love to bowl. Some kids hung out at the mall, but my friends and I hung out at the bowling alley. Bowling alleys typically have a pro shop, where bowlers can buy bowling balls or other items related to the sport. As a poor young guy, I would often spend what meager extra funds I had on various bowling equipment, so I was pretty knowledgeable. The owner of the pro shop was a good guy, and he'd often give me pretty good discounts. I was hanging out in the shop one afternoon when the door opened and a huge black guy entered the shop. I gave the guy a second glance because he was huge. This must have made him think I worked there, because he immediately came over to me. He mentioned he had a big charity bowling tournament to go to, and he needed a bunch of equipment. He was super friendly and I really loved bowling, so I didn't mind helping out at all. At this point, I had no idea he thought I worked there. I asked him about his bowling style to try and ascertain what kind of ball would work for him. He mentioned he bowled with one finger. He saw the confusion on my face, smiled, and proceeded to show me the most mammoth hand I've ever seen. I'd never heard of someone bowling with one finger, but his hand was so huge, a bowling ball would have been comparable to softball on a normal person. I immediately realized this guy was basically fast pitching 16-pound bowling equipment. My friend was with me, and we were able to recommend a couple of ball options for him. One ball was about $250, and one was around $150. This was in the early 90s, so this was not cheap. He promptly told me he wanted both of them. Then I asked if he had a bag to carry them. He promptly picked the most expensive bag, $150, and pulled out a huge wad of hundreds. The entire time this guy was laughing and cracking jokes. At this point the owner of the shop finally comes over and makes the transaction, and tells the guy that he'll drill the finger holes for free. Big Guy mentions that he only needs one finger hole, but the pro shop owner tells him that a bowling ball has to have at least 3 holes or it isn't considered legal equipment. Big Guy laughs and agrees. At this point the owner begins to measure his finger and hand size, and it is literally off the charts. His thumb, in particular, is so huge that he doesn't have a conventional drill bit big enough for it. It was about the size of my wrist. The owner was also a part-time airplane mechanic of some type, and went out to his truck, where he was able to procure a larger drill bit, and was able to eventually drill 3 holes that would fit the guy if he ever decided to use 3 fingers. Typically undrilled bowling balls weight about 16.4 pounds. The 0.4 pounds is extra weight that is typically removed in the drilling process, giving a final weight of just under 16 pounds for a normal human. For this guy, the balls weighed about 14 pounds afterwards. This particular bowling alley also allowed you to have 3 free games of bowling for every ball purchased. So Big Guy asked my friend and I if we would bowl with him and give him a couple of pointers. I, being a cocky young guy, was pretty insistent that he'd roll a much better ball if he actually used all 3 holes. Sure enough, his hands were so huge he just couldn't get any sort of control if he used 3 fingers. Crazily enough, however, he was a pretty darn good bowler. He bowled with us for a few minutes when I finally noticed his earring. It was the letter L and the letter T in the shape of a lightning bolt. And that's when I finally realized I was giving Lawrence Taylor a bowling lesson. Edit, he realized I didn't work there when I asked if he'd give me the 3 free games he didn't use. I confessed I had no idea who he was until the end. We laughed. He was a great guy.